Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to talk today about a very light subject, just a very easy, light-hearted Dharma talk. Is that good with everyone? Cool. So today's topic is life and death. It is April Fool's Day, so, life and death. We have an evening gatha, very short little chant that we say during our meditation retreats, which is, do you mind that you're on camera? Okay, that's okay?
Yeah.
All right, so it goes like this. Life and death are of supreme importance. Time swiftly passes by and opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Take heed, do not squander your life. Life and death are of supreme importance. That's the first line of that. Time swiftly passes by and opportunity is lost. Each of us should strive to awaken. Take heed, do not squander your life. I think I'm the oldest person in here, so this notion that time swiftly passes by, how many of you feel that in your lived experience? Okay, quite a few. That's good. Cool.
Why does it say that life and death are of most importance if the journey in between is the most important part?
Well, that's a good question. Life and death are of supreme importance. But isn't the time in between even more important? That's a great question. Do you guys agree that the time in between is the most important?
Yeah.
I think that's what they mean when they say life, because it's not birth and death are of supreme importance. So life, how you live your life, and the fact that you're going to die are both important. Does that make sense? The reason that go ahead.
Also, if you wouldn't have the gift of being born, then you wouldn't have all that stuff in between.
If you didn't get born, you wouldn't have anything in between.
In between life and death, yeah, because you wouldn't.
It's true.
So.
It's true. I had a college professor named Doug Smith, who was a very wonderful person, still is, I'm sure, but we've fallen out of touch. He had this, he used to say a lot that at the end of the day, our life is a hyphen. Anyone want to guess what he meant by that? Your life is a hyphen.
Leaving the road to continue?
I don't think that's what he meant.
In the sentence of the universe, our life is like, boop, like right in the middle.
True, but I don't think that's what he meant.
Okay.
Think about when you read about someone who's died, what's usually the first thing you see?
Oh, it's just a hyphen in the middle between the two
Yep.
dates.
Bob, born in 1977, died in 2026, but it'll say 1977 hyphen 2026.
The entire life is just...
It's just that hyphen,
By that
a little hyphen. That's wild. Think about that. That's wild. Everything that you experience and do is in that hyphen. That's wild. Now, there's another little bit of irony here and a paradox, and you've all heard me talk about paradox before. In my opinion, life is paradox. And Zen helps us deal with that. It is both true that I have more power over my life than I can possibly comprehend, and I'm utterly powerless. What does that mean? That means I have no control over any of you whatsoever. But I have a huge amount of control over my own choices. Right? Both things are true. It's a paradox. I both have no control over my past and have a lot of say over my future based on my behavior today. It's another paradox. But there's things that will happen that I can't possibly predict. You guys following what I'm saying? Like there's this dance constantly between what you can control and what you can't, what you can change and what you can't, what you can influence. And everything that goes on in our lives is just that little hyphen. So does that mean that it doesn't matter? I mean, my life is just a hyphen, so it doesn't matter, right? sex, drugs, and rock and roll, leave a pretty corpse, let's freaking go. Is that what that means? Not a rhetorical question. Is that what it means?
No.
No.
For some people.
For some people, but why would I not say it means that? Because your life is intertwined with many other lives. Your life matters, their lives matter. If you live in a destructive way or a self-destructive way, it's not only you that it affects. My son is currently dealing with a situation where his roommate did something that now he and his other roommates are also in trouble for. Is that fair? Maybe not. But it points to what I'm getting at, which is that his roommate, who is quite a character and tends to be very unconventional and provocative and tends to kind of do what he thinks is right as opposed to what society would say is right, has now tarred his 3 friends with the same behavior. It's a problem. It's created a lot of stress for my son. You guys all follow that? None of us are operating in a vacuum. If you decided to just, go for broke and spend all your money and blow up your life and take a lot of risks, that would affect your family, your friends, people who care about you. So none of this is to say that it doesn't matter. Not even to mention the fact that in traditional Buddhist teaching, it's considered a huge blessing to have human birth. Why? Because humans are capable of doing something that arguably animals are not. Some of you would say, no, my dog is enlightened and aware and conscious. I'm a dog guy, so I get that. But what are you capable of doing that, as far as we know, a mosquito is not capable of doing?
Having opposable thumbs.
You do have opposable thumbs, which is one of the reasons why we have a lot of control over the planet in a way that most other animals don't. But there are other animals that have opposable thumbs. It's not only that. What else is it?
We can also walk upright.
Well, there's other animals that can walk upright. I mean, think about it.
We can.
Apes, abominable snowman, Bigfoot. There's lots of animals that can walk upright.
We have the ability to communicate with each other.
Yes, we have the ability to communicate with each other, but again, other animals do that too. You guys are getting there. What can a human being do that ostensibly an animal couldn't, or it would be very difficult for them to do?
Reason.
Reason. That's excellent. Yes, reason. And I don't think my dogs are aware that what they do today will affect their future. Now, some animals have demonstrated the ability to plan. Chimps can do it. Dogs can solve puzzles. An octopus is very good at. Octopus are one of the smartest animals out there. This has been proven. Dolphins. So I'm not saying animals are dumb, but we can think to ourselves, oh, that building is for sale. I wonder if we were to knock out these 2 walls and put flooring down, if we could make a zendo in that one room. This used to be a salon. That used to be a nail studio. You'd never know it, but someone looked at it and thought, I bet we could do that. Also, someone thought, I wonder what it would be like to have a mindfulness-based young adult transitional program. I'm sorry to break this bad news to all of you, but you are literally sitting right now in my brain. Welcome. That's true. It's not to say I'm the greatest thing ever, but I mean, I don't think that a dog could be like, let's make Red Mountain. You guys follow? We're able to project our minds into the future and do amazing things if we think it through. Also, we're capable of spiritual awakening. We're capable of becoming enlightened. We're capable of changing our behavior. Not only our external behavior, but inside. I don't get as angry as I used to. I don't get as upset with myself as I used to. How's that possible? Well, 30 years of Zen practice has certainly helped. You guys following what I'm saying? This is particularly on my mind right now because yesterday I awoke to the news that my very dear art teacher from high school had passed away. And I just kind of lay in bed for a long time. Because, like most people, first thing I do when I wake up is look at my phone. I wish I could say I sit zazen for an hour or I dive right into prayer and meditation. I do that as well, but the first thing I do is look at my phone. First of all, what time is it? Is there anything going on I need to know about? How'd the Red Sox do last night? These are important questions. And I had a text from my best buddy from high school that Joni had passed away. Very sad. Now, actually not sad because she was very old and she was not a very happy camper. She had dementia. But when someone passes away, you think about the effect that they had on you. And I can tell you this, the hyphen that Joan had was extremely impactful. Extremely impactful. Because me and many other people were very encouraged by her. Yes, I learned how to draw, I learned how to look at art and think about art and so forth. And probably everybody here had a favorite high school teacher. I mentioned Doug, who was my favorite college professor. We all had someone like that who's really impactful. And they taught us, Joan taught me how to draw, Doug taught me how to write, but taught us more how to look at the world, how to think of ourselves. Joan, I was a very, very, very late bloomer. I know it's hard to believe looking at me now, but I was a very late bloomer. I'm very discouraged for a lot of my high school years because girls did not like me. And she was very encouraging around that as well. Not in a creepy way, but just in a you're awesome. It's only a matter of time. Don't worry about it. That really mattered to me. And all of these things came flooding back yesterday. And I have had a lot of passages in the last few years. My mom, my stepmom, my father-in-law, whom I was very tight with, my teacher. So this is just another one. It just felt like just pushing on the ouchie, right? This morning, I woke up to news that my grandniece has been born. While I slumbered, my grandniece came into the world. Her name is Poppy. How cute is that? And my niece, her mom, is British, so it's pronounced Poppy. Poppy. How cute is that? A little baby named Poppy. And I have, my wife and I have a son, 2 nieces, and 2 nephews. So between the 5 of them, I'm guessing Poppy will not be the only one in that new generation. I was texting with my dad this morning, who's still alive. Great-grandfather. Pretty cool. He lived to see his great-grandchild be born. But it's very emotional for me because both my mom and stepmom would have been super excited about this. And also, my niece has another grandma who's passed away who would have been very excited about it. So, that's hard. But at the same time, it's not just death. We have also new life in our family. This is very exciting. You start to see, it's like after a really cold winter and you start to see the buds on the plants. Life comes back around. Always. So there's now a question that Joan can no longer answer, which is what do I want to do with my life? She can't answer that question anymore. Her life has completed. That's a question that Poppy can now ask herself, but she's not self-aware yet. But imagine being 1 day old. This is your first day here. No bad things have happened to you. You have no regrets. You've made no mistakes. The world is your oyster. She could become prime minister. She could become a serial killer. We don't know. Hopefully not that. We don't know. She could become a surgeon. She could become a school teacher. She could become a thief. She could have no children, 10 children. We don't know. It's a blank slate. She's going to have certain health attributes and health challenges we don't know yet, because right now she's just a healthy baby. She's going to have certain personality quirks we don't know yet, because you do come into the world with some of that. But then you also start generating karma at a certain point in time. She's very fortunate to be born into a loving, intact family. That's karma that she just lucked into. Then she'll start generating her own karma. So it's just important to note, everybody in this room is midstream. None of us are where Joni is. None of us are where Poppy is. We're all right in that hyphen. The last number in Joan's life is March 31st, 2026. The first number in Poppy's life is April 1st, 2026. What are we going to do with that hyphen? My goal with these conversations is always to inspire you guys to think about, what do I want? What do I want my life to have meant? What do I want it to mean? And what do I want it to have meant? And I've had the privilege to sit with people who were in the process of passing away. And I tell you what, it's pretty cool when someone is passing away and they feel really good about their life. And it's pretty awful when they don't. It's going to happen to every single one of us. So what do you want to do today? Do you want to advance a selfish, frightened, deceitful agenda? Maybe it's comfortable for you. I used to be very selfish, frightened, and deceitful. Do you want to advance a vulnerable, open-hearted, curious, the world is my oyster, who knows what can happen, I want to change my life, let's change it agenda? You have no control over your past, you have no control over the behavior of others. You do have control over what you choose to do today. And something I heard years ago that I think is very true. One of the dilemmas of being human is we can accomplish less in a day than we think, but we can accomplish more in a year than we think. When I think about my life a year ago, I had just left Red Mountain, just handed the reins over to Ryan. My wife had just had surgery for cancer. We didn't know how that was going to look. A lot of unknowns. We were working on our book, but we didn't know if anyone was going to want it. Just had started with my first client and my consulting group, our consulting group. So fast forward a year later, the book has been sold. It will be published a year from now. The rough draft is finished. We have a lot of work to do in the next year to get it ready, but that's way different than it was. I actually have a wait list now because we're so busy. So that's very different than it was too. I had a lot of fear a year ago. What's going to happen? Or is this even going to work? A year ago, we were taking a break from having me on campus because the sense was, the big personality founder needs to not be here for a little while so that the team can move forward without him. And then I was brought back in to do this and a few other things. I didn't know what that was going to look like. So there's a lot of things that have changed. Every day making the right effort. Also, my teacher was still alive a year ago. There's just a lot of things that have changed. But this is not a commercial for me. It's just a commercial for this lifestyle. Because we have continued to, my wife and I, stay loyal to each other, stay sober, keep practicing the Dharma, keep teaching the Dharma, not created problems for ourselves or each other, keep going to therapy, keep hitting the cushion. Our life now is better than it was a year ago, and it's moving toward our goals. Does that make sense to everyone? Doesn't mean every single day has been like, yay! But we've done the right thing more days than not for a long time. So you get a different outcome. Every single person sitting in this room, I'm guessing, will not still be in this room a year from now, except maybe him, maybe me, maybe a couple of you will have come back as staff or something like that. But where do you want to be a year from now? believe it or not, what you're doing today really matters. And you might be feeling stuck and stalled out and like, I'm never getting out of here. You are. I had a client the other day complaining to me about not liking being in Sedona. And they were like, no offense, I know you've lived here for 20 years. I was like, I want to get out of Sedona too. But I have obligations and responsibilities here. But most of the reasons we moved here are no longer happening, so I'm sure eventually we'll leave. Impermanence is the ruler of the universe. But the mind F, if you will, is that sometimes impermanence moves very slowly. Then all of a sudden, boom, something changes. Poppy's not going back. She's here now, right? But this whole concept of my niece having a baby, she's wanted that for a long time. Well, imagination becomes reality, and then now you're a mom. There's all kinds of things that I know each of you dream of and want and are afraid of and are worried about. And the point of this Dharma Talk is just today, just for today. You can't rush things. You can't speed it up. Just put your energy into esteemable things, positive things that are moving you toward what you want. If you do that, God bless you, very consistently, again, you'll get more done in a year than you realize. But you'll have days where you're like, I didn't really get much done today. But it's like, what did you do? You got up, you ate good, you showered, you got a little exercise, you came into the Zendo, you went to work, you went to school, you did whatever you were supposed to do. Enough of those days pile up. It's like if you save $1 every day for 100 days, $1's not a lot, but $100 is a lot. Is this all making sense? The bad news is there's no shortcuts, but the good news is karma is a thing. Like what you do, how you invest your resources, your time, money, and energy will result in an outcome. Just a question of, is it an outcome you want or an outcome you don't want? Well, that's up to you. That's how you author your hyphen. Any questions? Well, sometimes when you're working in the garage, you make a mistake. It's not very far in there. I can get it out about a quarter turn about every hour without it hurting. So I think I should have it out by the end of the day.
Or you could just leave it in there and like be like,
I don't think I need to go to the doctor.
That'd be pretty cool.
Or I could wish you all happy April Fools.
Really?
You like that?
It's in there.
I can't tell if it's actually in there.
That was pretty good.
Oh.
It's not in my finger. And that is a great coda to the Dharma Talk, which is also, don't take things too seriously.
Yes.
Great is a matter of life and death, but also like you might as well enjoy yourself. Enjoy the journey. Any other questions or comments?
You should have switched it to a different finger.
I should switch it throughout the day and just see if people notice. Ouch. This did happen in my garage. It's just that I made it in my garage. I didn't put the screw into my finger. I've gotten a few people today. People that know me well are like, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
You knew right away, right?
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, don't take yourself too seriously. And again, this goes back to the paradox. It's very important. You are alive. You are human. You have been exposed to the Dharma. You have access to therapy. You can change your life. You have this precious gift of human birth. Also, by the way, the Buddha started every single talk that he ever gave with, O ye of noble birth. What does that mean? Someone who has enough time to actually learn the Dharma and listen because you're not out in the field. A lot of people don't get exposed to it. A lot of people don't have time to absorb it or learn or work on themselves. So you have that opportunity. Take advantage of it. And at the same time, it's okay to be playful. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to enjoy, watch a dumb show. You don't have to be like a super serious Zen student all the time. All right. Is that enough for today? Thank you all for your time and attention. Hey, if you're still watching YouTube, smash that subscribe button and that like button. We would appreciate it. Here, we'll do it this way. Smash that like button. All right. Thank you.